I'll be the first one to admit, I don't understand the hype around the Regency era. I know that there has been a big resurgence of the time period thanks to popular shows like Bridgerton, and so many book people seem obsessed with Regency Romance, but it's always just seemed a little bit, I don't know, boring to me. However, I cannot knock it until I try it, so I decided to go straight to the most popular source of Regency time, one of the most famous authors who seems to transcend generations, Jane Austen. I am ready to submerge myself in every single book that Jane Austen has ever written and to see what the buzz is really about. Let's go. All right, it's time to start our first book in the Jane Austen world, and I figured there's no better way to start it off by reading the most famous Jane Austen book that I would say is most famous, Pride and Prejudice. We have it here on my Kindle. I did request to have it like a physical copy from the library, but it actually is booked for, I think I'm like the second person in line. So hopefully we get that soon, but we'll go ahead and kind of start reading this one. I think this one's the one that everyone says is like the funniest. It's kind of like the easiest, I guess, to get through. People really, really like the story. So I'm really excited to start reading it. I don't really know. I know that there's somebody named Mr. Darcy, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's Pride and Prejudice. So I think that's really the only thing I know. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not quite sure, but I'm excited. I'm excited to read it and to kind of see just everything and see if I actually enjoy this or not. I'm worried that I'm gonna find it really boring. So hopefully I don't. But I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, we'll get started on Pride and Prejudice. We just found Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy was just introduced. I still don't know who Mr. Darcy is. I just know that he's talked about so much. I'm guessing he's gonna be the romantic interest in this, but maybe Mr. Bingley will be too. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of fun. So far I'm entertained. Like I actually like it. So I'm not worried about being bored yet, at least. So I like it. It is the next day and I am on chapter 20 of Pride and Prejudice. Let's see if this will focus. There we go. Okay, it's so good. I'm kind of understanding the hype a little bit now. I think this could be just that this is a good book. So we'll have to see how the other books fare. But yeah, we're 28% of the way through and Mr. Collins just tried proposing to Elizabeth and she, kept telling him like, sorry, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not gonna marry you because I'm not gonna be happy. And he just, honestly, how he responds is kind of like a lot of men, even nowadays, in my opinion. You tell a guy no, and they'll like, oh, you're just trying to make it so that way, like the next time I ask it, the suspense will be more suspenseful and it'll be an exciting way to say yes and so. And I'm like, no, like no means no. She doesn't want to marry you. Sorry, dude. So anyway, it's just kind of fun to like read that and to like see how kind of absurd he is and how awkward he is and how he just really wants to have a wife and he doesn't really care who it is. It kind of looks like he just, saw Elizabeth as this beautiful being and would be able to keep the family farm and the family and all this stuff. So anyway, we're on now chapter 20. I think this is when potentially he will propose to Charlotte instead. I'm not quite sure. Charlotte has the famous line of that you see like everywhere on like TikTok and stuff about being 27, no money, no prospects, burden to her family, blah blah blah. So I'm really excited to like get to that point in the book. But yeah, so far absolutely loving it. Exciting stuff is happening around here. I actually was able to grab the physical copy of my book. It did come available for me to check out from the library. So we have a physical copy of Pride and Prejudice. I'm so close to being done, you guys. I have about 20 pages left of this. Also, there's a receipt back here for someone who went to Joann's. How much did they spend? Well, they saved $15. We're gonna go ahead and finish reading this. I got about 20 pages left and I'm excited to see what happens. So far, what's happened where we're at is that Jane and Mr. Bingley have become engaged, and then Lady Catherine came and basically threatened Elizabeth, saying that she was not allowed to entertain any thought of having Mr. Darcy be her husband, and she was also trying to figure out if he had proposed to her yet. So I think she kind of now knows that he's probably going to propose to her. but we'll see. It hasn't happened yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to finish this right now, and I'm excited because it's just been so cute so far. Okay, you everybody, we have finished Pride and Prejudice. I finished this book yesterday, and boy oh boy did I actually surprise myself so much by falling in love with this book. Total rating, I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. I thought it was so cute. I love the story. I think it's a little, the reason why I'm not giving it a full 5 stars is because it's a little hard to follow with the, I don't necessarily want to call it Old English, but I mean, it was written like 200 years ago. So it's a little bit, a lot of the vocabulary is kind of hard to understand. I did find myself having to kind of go and like reread things a lot and like look things up and like look up summaries of each chapter to make sure that I actually got out of it what is being written. But I thought it was super, super, super cute. A fun little love story. I can definitely see why this was probably so, I mean, it was probably so popular back then too. I'm not actually sure if she was like super popular back when she was alive or not, or if it kind of gained popularity afterwards, but I feel like you don't see a lot of this style of book from this time period. You don't really see a lot of it. So really, really cute. Absolutely love Pride and Prejudice. I really want to go watch the movie now. They have it on YouTube, so maybe I'll go watch it for free on YouTube. But we also started reading Sense and Sensibility. I have read 9 chapters, which you would think that that's like a big chunk. It's literally only 26 pages. There's 50 chapters in this tiny little book. I mean, this book is only, what, 260 pages long. So it is like pretty, like there's a ton of words on there. So that's why I've been listening to it, because I feel like it's just easier for me to do. So I'll probably keep listening to the audiobook version of it on my phone later today. But I did get 9 chapters in, so I mean, there's a plus. This book is about 2 daughters. Well, it's about a family that essentially the husband dies. There's not really a lot of money left over for the daughters after the son kind of takes it all. And so then this mother and her 2 daughters ends up going to live with their cousin. He has like a house somewhere and he's letting them live there. And they have like a really small allowance basically that their brother is giving them because he's the one who inherited all of the money when their dad died. Anyway, and one daughter is like, I guess, sensible one, and one is kind of the more fun, exciting, crazier one. So hence Sense and Sensibility. What I thought was really interesting, I was doing some research on this book, and there's a movie called Material Girls, which has Hilary and Haley Duff in it, and it's like, it's not a good, well, I mean, I loved it when I was a kid, and I probably would love it now, but it like did not do very well. Like the critics all hated it, but that movie is actually loosely based off of this book, which I had no clue, and I actually like talked about that maybe with one of my friends without even knowing that it was based off of this. So that's kind of an interesting thing that it's like really transcended years and years and years, like hundreds of years, and is still kind of relevant today. So kind of cool. I feel like I really need to go and watch these movies because they all seem to be really, really well done. So I still don't quite get the whole like Regency era like dressing. Like I don't get why people would want to dress like that and do their hair like that now. I just think it just is a little weird, but to each their own. So anyway, we'll keep reading this and I'll check in soon and tell you what I think. I'm going to finish cleaning up my room while I listen to this book. Since the loss of their father. Sir John Middleton, who called on them every day for the first fortnight, and who was Sense and Sensibility. I really did actually enjoy this book. I thought it was really, really cute. Not as good as Pride and Prejudice, in my opinion. I just really liked the story of Pride and Prejudice, and I feel like maybe I shouldn't have started off with like what she's best known for. But Sense and Sensibility is still very, very cute. It's a, you know, classic love story. And I really liked it. So I'm gonna give this, I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars out of 5, just because I feel like the other one was better. I did have a little bit of a harder time trying to understand this. I had to keep like going and like looking up the synopsises to make sure that I understood the chapters correctly, but overall still thought it was a really, really good book. And now I've actually been reading Persuasion, which you can't even see, like the cover is fully faded, and I'm actually almost completely done. I'm on page 180 of like 230 or something like that. So I'm really, really close. I'm going to try to finish it today, like right now actually. So we'll see how it goes. But so far I like this one a lot. I feel like now that I've been able to understand her writing a little bit more, I understand like it's easier for me to comprehend what's going on in the chapter, so I don't have to like look it up afterwards to make sure that I got it correctly, if that makes sense. So overall, really good book. I do like it, and I'm excited to see what happens, like how this story ends, because right now it doesn't really feel like it's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna end the way that I want it to end, you know? So we'll see what happens, and then we'll head on to the next Jane Austen book. Okay, I have one chapter left. I kind of feel like it's basically over. You see like the love interest finally like kind of come to fruition, but I kind of am a little confused. Like I feel like it kind of just went from 0 to 100 so fast. So we'll see what happens, but I'm so close to being done, and it's such a cute one. Like I really actually really like this one. So probably I don't know if it's my favorite. We'll have to see how it ends. So let's finish reading this. That was so cute. I'm gonna give this book 4 stars. Persuasion. I don't think I really need to think about it. This book was just so adorable. I love how it ends. I don't think I really talked too much about what the book is about, but essentially you follow the main character. Her name is Anne, and her family is getting ready to move out of their home so that way they can rent it out, because her father has kind of overspent a lot of stuff and they need to start saving money, and one way to do that is to go to a smaller house and then rent out their larger manor. And along the way different people come and go, but you kind of get the idea and the notion that she is not ostracized from her family, but her mother has died, but her dad and her sisters don't see her as anything of importance. They think very highly of themselves, and so they disregard her in many ways. And she, you know, has a love interest way back when she was younger, and they don't allow it because he's not good enough for the vision of the family. And then it fast forwards 8 years later, and he's back in town. He's got a huge fortune, and they still kind of disregard him, and there's another guy who is there who's also competing for her heart, who the family does approve of. So it's kind of interesting to see. The ending just it's a very quick like 180 in my opinion, but I still thought it was really cute. And definitely it's yeah, I think this one's gonna be one of my favorites. I think Pride and Prejudice, and then this one probably is gonna be my favorite. So anyway, I have a couple other Jane Austen books. I think I have 3 more left to read, so I'll go pick one out, and we'll catch up with you once I figure out which one I'm reading next. Hi. This is actually like the most Regency style dress that I own. I don't know if you'd even really consider this like a Regency style, but it's cute. It's got the little like smocked detailing, the cute ruffle sleeves, tiered skirt. So that's what we're working with today. I have just picked up Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. This one, I literally have zero clue I've had zero clue pretty much about all of the books. I'm assuming again that it's just gonna be another cute little Regency romance novel again. Let's see what the back of this says. Oh, this is actually her first novel. Oh wait, no, it's not. It was her first novel that was published after she had died. So she had completed it, but it wasn't published yet in 1818. So I don't know actually if this is going to be like a lovey-dovey story. I'm excited to read it. This one is the first one that like the pages kind of look normal, and what I mean by that is like I feel like all the other ones, they were like very like scrunched together. They, you know, the font was really small, and so even though it was like a 200-page book, the audiobook was still like 10 plus hours long, which was not making very much sense to me why it was taking so long. But this one actually looks like it might be a little bit shorter or easier to read. Let's see how many pages are in this one. This one, there's only 212 pages, so I think potentially we could get through this one very quickly. I'm excited to get reading, and I tried doing my little like dressing for the era. This is the only thing I have, so I'm gonna actually change out of this because it is Sunday and I want to change into my regular clothes now. But we'll go ahead and start reading Northanger Abbey. I'm excited. Okay, you guys, we need to talk about Jane Austen for a second. I struggling with these books. But what I'm struggling with is like one chapter. So for example, let's do chapter 10. Chapter 10 is how many pages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pages, okay? The audiobook for chapter 10 is 22 minutes. Like, why is this gonna be 22 minutes long when it's only 5 pages? And what I mean by that is like, there's so much in here, there's so much like dialogue that it just is kind of confusing and it takes forever to read. I've been doing this challenge now. This is my 3rd week of reading and I've only made it through 4 books because every book takes so long to read, to physically get through. I just don't get it, I don't understand it. So with that being said, I think this is gonna be my last book for this video because I want to read other books. I've been spending so much time reading Jane Austen, and I really do like Jane Austen, and it's really good. That being said, this book, Northanger Abbey, is the first book that was published after she died. I don't know if I've said that or not already in this video, but it is kind of boring at this point. Again, I feel really bad for like saying all this, but I just feel like it is. I'm not trying to say I'm not a fan, but if I don't respect it like everyone else respects it, don't come for me, okay? I'm just giving you my honest thoughts. Hi you guys, I just finished Northanger Abbey just now. You guys, I have to admit that this book actually, it did get better, I promise. It's still my least favorite book that we have read in this like video so far. There was a point where I was like, oh my gosh, like is this gonna turn into a mystery novel? Because you think that the main character, Catherine, thinks for a second that maybe her like love interest dad potentially killed his wife, which that's kind of an exciting part. Like there was a little bit of like a little scary horror element put in here for just a hot minute, which was kind of exciting. And then the ending was just like a very quick turnaround of emotions. Like it was just very, very interesting. But again, it happened at the very end, which I wasn't a big fan of. I just feel like if you're gonna have a book that like the first like 120 pages are gonna be about just people walking around the countryside, like it's just kind of boring. But I know that I did go on this rant the other day about how I wanted to just be done with Jane Austen. I wasn't gonna read anymore because I was so over it. But as soon as I finished it, I started reading Emma, which I'm only doing the audiobook version right now. I haven't actually started like physically reading this, but I actually do like it so far. I mean, I'm very new to it because I just barely finished reading this one, so I've only, you know, a couple of minutes into this book, but I like it and I think I could probably finish it pretty quickly. I think this one is actually the biggest one that we've read so far. It's over 300 pages, so it's bigger, but I think I could probably get through this one in a day or two. So we're gonna try to read the crap out of this, listen to it all day. I have a ton of editing I have to do today on my computer, so we'll go ahead and read Emma if we can. Try to see how fast we can read it. But yeah, so far I actually do like it. We're done! Woohoo! We're done! All right, you guys, we have finished Emma by Jane Austen. This was the last book that I had to read for this video because this video is going up tomorrow. You guys will see it when you see it, but I don't have time to read the last book and I also don't have it. It's still on hold at the library for me, so I'll get to it eventually when I get to it, but I am so glad that it's over. This book, I think I liked this one the least, to be honest. I'm gonna give it 3 stars, I've decided, just because I mean, it's a cute romance story, but honestly, the character really annoyed me, the main character, Emma, which is kind of ironic because that's what the whole book is about. She just like, you know, she's a matchmaker. She wants to be the matchmaker, and I feel like she kind of has this like know-it-all type of mindset, which is like really annoying to me. I don't like those types of people who think that they know everything and that their word is the word that is truth and stuff. And she kind of comes to realization throughout it that like she's been wrong, and she is wrong multiple times, which is a little satisfying to me, to be honest. But yeah, overall I wasn't a big fan of the character. I felt like the story was extremely predictable. And one thing that I have to say about Jane Austen, I kind of have a little bit of beef with. I just feel like she kind of portrays the woman to be a little stupid, in the sense of like many of the books, the characters don't pick up on the fact that the dude is in love with them. Like they are like completely shocked, and I feel like a lot of times, I mean, the times are different then, granted, like they aren't the same as they are now, but like you can usually tell, I feel like, when somebody likes you, like you can tell. And the fact that most of our characters are like, I had no idea, I thought you were in love with my friend, and then like you realize later, like the person like then realizes like, oh, wait a second, like there were all these signs and I just ignored them. I just feel like she kind of makes the woman look a little stupid, which I don't like. I don't think she makes the men to necessarily look super great either, but I think she kind of makes the woman look a little dumb, which I'm not a huge fan of, but whatever, to each their own. Overall, I'm glad that I did this challenge. I'm glad that I read Jane Austen. I do think that Regency is just not for me, just not my cup of tea. I really liked Pride and Prejudice. I really liked Persuasion. I think Pride and Prejudice is probably my favorite. Persuasion's a close second. But will I be reading them again anytime soon? No, probably not. And I know a lot of people disagree with me. That's okay. You can like it. I'm gonna go read other stuff that I feel like is a little bit more entertaining to me. So that's just my perspective on it. But if you have made it this far to the video, go ahead and comment this little like hat emoji. I feel like that's not really Regency, but it's kind of like, you know, old school fashion that they would maybe wear a cute hat like that or something in that time. I'm not actually sure, but go ahead and comment that down below. That way we can hang out in the comment section together, and I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you all in my next video coming very soon. Bye!